Gentle, emotive music begins. Oh, it's a boy. The young princess has delivered a bouncing baby boy. Laughter and glee echoed through the grand corridors of the royal palace. The kingdom finally had an heir. The young princess, Theresa, pale and weak, opened her tired eyes. The scent of fresh linen, the soft murmurs of midwives, it all felt like a dream. She smiled faintly as her husband, the Crown Prince James, entered the room, his face glowing with pure joy. "My queen," he whispered, his voice trembling with relief. He gently took her hand. "Thank you." Theresa knew she'd been brought to the palace for one primary purpose, to bear an heir. Their marriage was arranged, sealed by politics. But James had shown her nothing but love. On their wedding night, he swore to be her protector, her confidant, her friend. And her heart had softened. She had started to believe in their love. But now, as the newborn's cries filled the room, fear clawed at her chest. The baby was placed in her trembling arms. He cried uncontrollably, his tiny face red and wrinkled. How could she raise him to be a just and virtuous king? How could she protect him from the dangers lurking within these very walls? Her eyes met James's, who was watching her with pure adoration. He smiled, and in that smile, she felt a flicker of calm. She was not alone, but peace in a palace is often a fragile thing. Days turned to weeks, and celebrations echoed across the land. But behind the grandeur, shadows whispered. The Queen Mother, Lady Agatha, never approved of Theresa. She saw her as a commoner, unworthy of raising a future king. "An heir she has given us," Agatha remarked sharply one evening, "but an heir raised by a timid heart may one day crumble the throne." The words stung. That night, Theresa stood by her son's cradle, watching him sleep, so peaceful, so unaware of the weight of the crown that awaited him. She bent down and kissed his forehead. "You will be more than a king," she whispered. "You will be kind, you will know the truth, and you will love deeply." As months passed, the court grew restless. The old king's health was failing, and the council prepared for James to ascend the throne. But palace life is never free from intrigue. A cunning noble, Lord Hawthorne, began to weave a web of deceit, his ambition hidden behind false smiles. One evening, Theresa overheard guards whispering about Hawthorne plotting with northern envoys. When she told James, he brushed it off. "Rumors, my love. The court breeds them like air. But a mother's instinct is a powerful thing." She couldn't ignore it. Secretly, she wrote to her father, a man of quiet wisdom, asking him to send trusted men to observe the court. It was on the eve of James's coronation that the storm finally broke. A treacherous plot was set in motion. Poison was slipped into the royal wine, meant to eliminate James before he could be crowned. But fate intervened. It was Theresa who tasted the wine first when a servant offered her a sip. Within moments, her vision blurred, her heart raced. The goblet fell from her hand. "Theresa," James cried, rushing to her side as she collapsed. Chaos erupted. In the confusion, Lord Hawthorne fled. Thanks to the palace physician and an antidote her father's men had brought, a precaution she had arranged, Theresa survived. Barely. When she awoke, James was by her side, his eyes filled with relief and a newfound reverence. "You saved my life," he whispered, pressing her hand to his lips. "And yours," she murmured back, "is mine." The traitors were arrested, and the kingdom was purged of corruption. The people no longer saw her as just a princess. They hailed her as the lioness of the crown. Years passed. The little baby grew into a fine young boy, curious, brave, and full of laughter. Every night, Theresa told him stories of courage, kindness, and truth. One evening, he looked up at her and asked, "Mother, what must a king be?" She smiled. "A king must be wise," she said. "But above wisdom, he must have a heart. The crown sits well only on those who love their people. A father is the pillar of a home, but a mother is the bedrock. A mother is a nurse, a backbone, an umbrella. She is a shield, a heroine, a comfort zone." Theresa was no longer just a princess given in marriage. She was a queen, forged by love, by trial, and by an unbreakable faith in her family. Her son, the Heir of Wales, would grow beneath her watchful eyes, not as a ruler born of privilege, but as a king born of purpose. What do you think is the most important quality in a leader? Let me know in the comments below. And if this story touched your heart, please give it a like and subscribe for more tales of courage and love. Thank you for watching.